If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This July 4th, get up to 40% off select Maytag laundry appliances. Plus, get an additional 10% off when you buy 2 or 3 select major appliances. And when you buy 4 or more, you'll save an additional 20%. Find the right appliances and features that fit your home's unique needs and style. Shop Maytag 4th of July deals at Lowe's. Valid through 7/9. See Lowe's.com for details. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location.
If you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Irina Aylyarova.
Welcome to the show. Finally, we have you on. It's been a minute. You haven't been on. So I've been always wanting to actually have you on. For those who don't know, I like to always go back to the beginning. The beginning kind of charts our trajectory, where we're going in life, the little habits that we pick up along the way. Tell the people a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And how did you find your way doing the things that you're doing right now?
Wow, all the way to childhood, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You hit me hard. My childhood was, I guess, you caught me off guard. What about it? Like, I grew up in Tajikistan, Central Asia, the oldest of 3, strict dad, a loving mom, strict environment. Girls kind of don't have a voice. You just seen and not heard. So grew up to be a good girl. So obviously a lot of internal battle, the experience versus what you're being told. Where are you in all of this? Not sure if I answered your question, but in a nutshell, that's my childhood. Always wanted to be a singer or an actor or whatever, but I was never allowed to do that because it wasn't for good girls.
Right. And so, but you already, you knew this growing up. Like, what were the steps that you take to going in that direction? I mean, obviously, everyone's like, don't do it. I'm sure you had some, I don't know. Did you have support at all?
Yeah, my husband.
That's awesome.
No, I mean, I think I had to find that support in me first and foremost. And that didn't happen until after 35. So that's when we moved to LA with my husband and started the journey of acting. But little did I know where it would lead me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. So, I mean, you're doing the acting thing. What now, for those that, are listening, the creatives, there's no right formula. It's just, you just kind of got to go for it, right? Is that what you kind of essentially did? You came to Los Angeles, you just hit the ground running?
Well, pretty much. I started at a ground zero, maybe even negative, because I knew nothing about the industry. It was just a pipe dream, right? So, first thing was to move closer to the vicinity where everything is happening, right? And then you just kind of hope that one thing leads to another. That was my idea, I guess. And yeah, I just went into a so-called actor salon. That's where I started, just learning about the industry and all that. But again, I think, yeah, there's so many ways to get to it. I didn't have a formula. You create it as you go,
Hmm.
and you try. It's trial and error. And you think you want to follow somebody in somebody's footsteps, but you can't because you're not living their life. So you kind of have to create your own path. And I think that's what it taught me.
Right. Yeah. Um, you -5, you start and then you just figure it out. You got to do, you write your own script, or right,
Hmm.
Suga, which is something. What made you kind of say, I want to write my own thing and make my own content? What you just kind of just got to a point where you're like, well, I'm not going to sit by the phone and wait any longer. I'm going to create my own opportunities.
Many reasons. One, everybody's talking about it. Create your own content, create your content. That's how you get out, right? That's how you get seen. But also, I was inspired at the moment. Something hit me really hard because the story that I depicted was about a woman who comes to the US and the struggle she deals with. But for me, it was real. For me, it was very close to home and I saw it everywhere. So it just flowed. It just poured out of me. So, and I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to create my own content, I'm going to do something that I can relate to, that I know about, right? Right,
Hmm.
what you know. So yeah, that's how that came about.
Yeah, and that's how essentially we met from from that short. So everything
Yeah,
happened for a reason. Um, the
that's true.
casting part of that, were you involved in that process as well? I mean, you pretty much was hands on with everything. You did everything essentially, mostly.
Yeah, it was another thing I wanted to experience. If I'm going to shoot my own film, let me put on all the hats and see how well I can learn from each one of those roles, right? So as I was writing it, I was in the community of actors because I was in an acting class, right? And e- I had the characters have already emerged. I already knew who would play whom, and that's who I doled it out to. So there really wasn't casting. I already saw personalities that would fit the roles, and so I just went with that.
That's awesome. That's a great way to like. I didn't audition. I got the role. Those are always nice.
Right.
Those are
Well,
always
when
nice.
you're in the community, you already know what the capabilities of certain actors are, and you trust them, and you've built a rapport, right? So it's easy.
Yeah, for sure. So you make that, and you've done some other projects and things like that. I've seen your real fast forward, and what made you kind of transition from the acting world into now something a little different you're doing that is more on the spiritual side, if you will. Um, what what prompted that transition? Just curious.
Just my own inner work is what prompted it. I've always been digging deeper and deeper inside, and then people would tell me sometimes you do it to a fault. I mean, you and I would get into it, you know that. But but she's like, oh, don't I know it? But um, I think I was always seeking that. I just didn't know what it was or how to get there. So I thought acting was the way. And but I will say that I attribute a lot to acting because it helped me break down walls to understand who I am deeper because there was a lot to undo, right? All these things that are put on us by society, by upbringing and all that. So there was a lot to undo to see who I am.
Mhm.
And I'm still in my infancy in that, right? But I, that's when I realized, okay, I heard an interview and it was a numerologist and she was talking about a matrix, numeric matrix, and she taught how to do it, like how to count your own matrix. So I did that on myself. I was like, I'm curious what I'm going to learn about myself. And as I did that, I just couldn't stop. I kept writing out everybody in my family and just trying to figure out all these numbers. And it just hit me. I'm like, if I'm so curious about it, I think I want to take these classes and figure out more about myself, because really that's what I was doing, is seeking my own truth. What is it that's not letting me rest, so to speak? Because yeah, everything is fine. Everything is, I feel great. I'm a good wife. I'm a good mom. I'm realized I do what I love. Everything at home is wonderful. What is it that I'm missing? Why am I still feeling like something is just not there?
Mhm.
Well, little did I know it was my soul trying to talk to me. Saying, hey, time to wake up and feed me. It's been a minute. But you don't know that. You discover that as you go. So to me, numerology is the spiritual tool that I acquired unknowingly, because I went into it for learning more about myself. But as I was discovering more about myself, I also fell in love with the numbers, and I understood that, hey, this is cool. I like it. It's more of me. It connects me to how I like to talk to people, what I bring to the table. And this tool, it's kind of rounded me out, if you will. So as I was submersed in numbers, all of a sudden I realized that acting is not a goal anymore.
Mm.
And that surprised me. It
Yes.
surprised me and kind of scared me, because to me it was end all be all. Like that was my final destination. So, but I had to listen to that voice. Now that I knew better, I needed to do better. And so I was like, okay, I have to, step away. I mean, we all do, right? A lot of actors go in and out of it because it's just what you do. It's a very demanding job. So sometimes you got to just step away from it and take a break. So I thought I gave myself permission to do that.
Yeah.
Step away from it and take a break. Take the time to learn this tool, see where it leads you. And so, yeah, I started consulting. Um, and I've been consulting ever since. And, it's been quite the journey. It's been fun when I say fun, it is really deep work. Um, People come to me not only out of curiosity, but also for really understanding who they are, what they're made of. And this tool, the numerology, is a great tool to do this in a very short period of time. Like if somebody wants to come and unpack themselves, this is a speedy way to do that, because you get to learn so much about yourself, what you're made of energetically, and how you get instructions to your own operating manual and within, how you
Mhm.
can bring your minuses into pluses, how you can understand what your anchors are and how to carve them out and use that into something more productive in your life, so to speak.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's incredible. And so, you know, how does one get into that? Did you take any courses, classes? Like how long?
Yeah.
So
Like I said, I heard the interview. I liked what I heard from that numerologist. She's in Russia
nice.
and she gives online classes. So I decided to, again, the way she does it, it's more like a hero's journey. That's
Gotcha.
another thing that resonated with me. So you go on the hero's journey to learn about yourself, to as deep a degree as you want.
Okay.
Like this is your own work. I'm here to facilitate the environment
Okay.
and teach you about what numbers represent. You do your own work. So it helps you grow up kind of. It helps you understand where you're still